All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I have another review for you. We're going to talk about the JBL TUNE 130NC. You can see the name right there. Now these do vary in certain prices. I know you can find them for about $129. Well, anywhere between $99 and $129. It's sometimes on sale for cheaper for that, but it's very, very rare. I happen to pick these up at Burlington Coat Factory for $49.99. So I got a decent price on it. It's jam-packed with features, but we're going to talk about that in a moment. So with that being said, let's put in the drop and hop right into this review. Alrighty, so first things first, this is what comes inside the actual box. Now, just let me be honest, I already took some things out. The charger cord, I believe, comes right here. Is normally a small orange cord, not even a foot long. And I took that out already. I actually had that connected to my Nintendo Switch, but it does use a USB-C charger, which we will talk about in a moment. This is the actual headset right here. What normally comes with it are the actual large tips, small tips right here. As you can see, it says S in large. The media ones are already on the headset at all times. That's how they ship inside the box. So if you're wondering where the mediums are, you're actually good to go. This will go inside like so, and the earbuds would sit right here. And then you have your books inside, which opens up, and it actually shows you how to sync the headset. It gives you the entire process of basically the type of headset you're getting into, along with the control itself. But luckily, this actually has app support. So what we're going to actually end up doing is talking about that in a moment. But first things first, let's take a look at how the headset actually looks. Now, for some people, the moment I pop this top open and you see this, you might look at, oh, it's way too big. It's way too big. Now, what I will say is that's how I felt initially when I first used this headset. Then as soon as I pulled them out, as you can see, it's a little greasy because I actually had my ear inside of it. This is how it fits. So this part right here, and this part obviously goes inside of your ear. It does a very good job of sealing sound. But if you do have big earlobes, you are going to have an issue where these might wiggle or fall out of your ear. So be aware of that. With JLab headphones, especially this type, they tend to be a little big. They make big oval shaped headphones. Granted, that is their signature way a lot of these look, and they're getting gradually smaller and smaller over time. Of course, they do make some headphones that have stems also. So if you're a person where you prefer the stem design, you do have the option for that. But again, a lot of JBLs, I don't know if it's because of the amount of drivers or just the quality of sound. That's why it's still a little chunky. But I do think they need to get more so with modern times. But the case, on the other hand, is pretty modern, as you can see. It gives you 3 bars to let you know how charged the headset is. I don't know the exact indicator, but I will say that it's probably 3 bars, 75 to 100%. 2 bars is probably 50 to 25, and 1 bar is 25 to 0%. I'll let you know it needs to be charged. You have your USB-C on the back. This is a smudge magnet, I would be honest with you. Now, I've had a few people use these along with me. Of course, I passed them along over. Actually, I had this for a while. Let's say I had this for a few months, and I never actually reviewed it. I ended up selling them to a coworker, and then what ended up happening was the coworker thought that the Bluetooth had an issue with connectivity on their particular phone, but it turned out that their phone was actually extremely old. They upgraded the phone, used them again, but by that time I gave them a different headset, so they just kept using what they already had. But me personally, I don't have any issue, especially since it ships with Bluetooth 5.2. But we're going to talk about specs in the next section. Just want to show you how the headset actually looks. Like I said, when you pop it inside the case, you don't have any issues whatsoever. Unfortunately, there's no wireless charging or anything like that, but that's okay. Given the price tag, like I said before, the price tag I paid is well worth it. The price tag that you guys pay in store is a little suspect in my opinion, but we'll talk about that as we unpack more of this headset. So with that being said, let's hop on to the next section. All right, so let's talk a little battery life. Now, there's 2 battery lives for this particular headset. Now, I don't want to get it wrong because I had a little sheet of paper with me that I wrote down. I wrote everything down, but I forgot to bring it with me, so I'll just give you what I remember. So, quick charge. This does have ability to get a 10-minute charge to give you 2 hours of listening time, music-wise. Talk time is a different story. Remember, most of the time when you see these headphones, it'll give you 10 hours. 20 inside the case, things like that, right? And what it's really saying is that they're talking about media consumption. Normally, talk time is a little bit different than media consumption, so you do have to be aware of that. Some headsets divulge this information, some don't. So if we're just going based on what JBL is saying, which I have tested the actual earbud volume and earbud battery length, which I would put it in my ear, just have it play something, even if I'm not paying attention to it. It's something playing constantly. You get 10 hours on the headset without ANC. Remember, these have active noise cancellation. And then you'll get 30 in the case. So you'll get a total of 40 hours, which is really, really good. I'm glad. I think that 24 hours in the case alone should be the standard of any minimum. But some companies like Sony and them feel as if, I guess, we're not cultured enough to get a decent battery life. Just kidding right there. But no, I'm dead serious. A lot of companies have it under 24 hours. So you're getting a total of 40 hours, 10 in the headset, 30 inside the case. Now with ANC on, which is active noise cancellation, and in order for that to be activated, you requires 2 ears. So most people aren't going to walk around with these with 2 ears 24 hours a day. You're getting 8 hours ANC, and then I believe 28 in the case, or 24 or 28, one of the two. I think it's 28 in the case. No, that sounds inaccurate. You're getting 24 in the case, I believe, and 8. Actually, you know what? Let me not go ahead and guess. Yeah, there we are. So, yep, I was right. 24 inside the case, 8 with ANC. So it's still not bad. You have to remember that a lot of headsets get 24 hours and then 5-hour charges, and a headset are 6 hours, and that's with ANC. This actually performs better in terms of battery life than a lot of other headsets out there. So with that being said, this section doesn't need to be longer than what it already is. Battery life is on point with this. Even the case looks nice. I love the case. Small, it's rugged. Unfortunately, it's not scratch resistant. Nothing is, but you see smudges, you see scratches with this. And honestly, I haven't looked up to see if this actually has protective cases for it. JBL makes so many headphones, it's kind of hard to keep up. So with that being said, let's go ahead and talk some tech specifications. Now, we're going to talk tech specifications, but also we're going to kind of match this up with functionality of the actual headset. Now, for those that are wondering, as soon as in order to sync, this is a very simple process. You flip the lid. You don't have to take the actual headset out. Go to Bluetooth. It'll sync automatically. When I say sync automatically, the left and the right will sync automatically inside the case. And then you tap JBL Tune. As a matter of fact, we're going to go to settings right now, and I'm going to show you. This is clear enough right here where you should be able to see it. Bluetooth, and this is what it'll pop. Well, it says Sir Gaibiru TV's JBL. That's Sir Gaibiru is the name of my Gmail. When you sync this, it actually syncs to your Gmail account. So if you're an Apple user, it'll just sync regular. If you're an Android user, you can have it sync to your email. So what'll happen is when you're trying to use Google Assistant, other features, or if you're trying to sync this again in the future, you just flip the top and it'll pop right up on Android and let you know because it remembers your syncing and your settings of your headset. So be aware of that. But it will pop up JBL Tune N30, 130 right there in sync. So with that being said, let's swipe this away and go back to the actual application. Now, these do have software updates. I didn't do an update for video purposes because I wanted to make sure that you could see everything here. And it said it took like 10 minutes and I didn't feel like waiting. So it does have the let you know how charged the case is, as you can see. It'll let you know how charged your left or right bud is. Right now, I just have it open, so it's technically connected. And you can take these in and out of the ear with no problem. You do have ambient sound controls, ambient aware, which ambient aware, hear me out. What it does is it allows it where you can still, basically ambient aware and talk through. Let me say all three of them at the same time. ANC is active noise cancellation. You already know what that is. And for people that don't, it actually has like a suction that goes into your ear that lowers the noise that's happening around you so that you hear more of your music. Now, you could walk down the street. Now, I ride my bike with my e-bike with ANC on. So just for you guys to know, you have to be completely aware of your left and right, what's going around you, because I don't really hear anything when I drive. This actually has decent active noise cancellation. What I will say is actually better than the Galaxy Bud 2s that I'm talking on. But the Galaxy Bud 2s is more like the jack of all trades, so it's not the best in everything. It's just good at everything. Now, let me get this out of the way so we can see it. Dismiss that. Okay, so with ANC, like I said, that's what that does. You do have the option to change your equalizer with the ambient aware and the talk through. What happens is with ambient aware and talk through, it allows it to where when you speak in the headset, it'll lower the volume for you where you can actually hear what's going on. In addition to that, let's say you're in a particular situation where your voice is projecting, the noise around you it'll alter the noise around you in a sense, kind of like ambient sound. But JBL calls their setting something different. Now, granted, it is much deeper than what I'm personally saying, but these aren't features that I really care to use because I have a very simple commute, a very simple life. The average person is going to buy these headphones and probably never even download the application, if we're being completely honest with you. But if you do download the application, you do have the options right here. You have smart audio and video. I leave that on. Now, what I will say is, as a matter of fact, here you go. So it gives you the best quality of audio that you could possibly hear, but just be aware of the fact that it does sacrifice connectivity. Now, I haven't had any drop connectivity from this headset so far. It does run off of Bluetooth 5.2. I have no issues whatsoever with connectivity. I mean, occasionally the headset would wiggle in my ear a little bit and I had to twist it back in because it is a chunky headset. That's why I said for you guys with smaller ears, this headset is not for you. I'm calling it now. Don't get it if you have smaller ears. But if you're used to like J-Lab earphones or Skull Candy headphones, the thicker ones, and not so much the stem, then this headset should fit your ear just fine. Of course, you do have different rubber ear tips for those that, need to switch that up. But also be aware that different rubber ear tip changes the sound. The bigger it is, more so the deeper and more rich the bass will be. So the smaller it is, you'll get larger sound in a sense in terms of like instruments and things, but your bass will be a little bit lower. But that also depends on your ear size. So just be aware of that. What else do we have here? So we have the different equalizer settings, as you can see. The gestures, let's go ahead and tap that right here, where you can tap each one, double tap, turned on talk through, whatever the thing we just talked about. And you can switch it between the left and the right ear between what they do. One of the reasons why I'm not going to talk to you about the double tap and the hold feature and things like that is because all of this stuff is customizable in the application. So I can tell you if you double tap, it changes a song or it hangs up a phone call. You have the option to actually change some of these features. Not all of them, but some of them. Now, if you look at the customized gesture right here, it'll let you know exactly what each one does. This is basically, in a sense, like a little guide. So what I'll say is, I'll stay right here on a page for you guys to screenshot it or take a picture or pause the video so that for those that don't have a manual or might have got these without the box, you can see exactly what the headset does right here and you don't have to worry about getting the manual. But again, in the application itself, it's absolutely free. So if you download this, sync the headset. Some JBL headsets don't have app support, so be aware of that. It's up to you to go to the application and actually look at your product to see if it's there. So you have your voice aware. That's what we talk. Well, let's talk about this for a second. Control how much of your own voice you hear during phone calls. So if you're using ANC during a phone call, right? I'm sorry, you're using ANC, you get a phone call, ANC is turned off. With this particular feature, let's say you want to hear the voices higher than the background, you have the ability to do that. So that way it's easier for you to differentiate, or it feels as if background noises is being lowered while your voice is projecting and it's coming through better, especially toward the phone call, the caller on the phone. Now, also what I will say with this particular headset, because I ride an e-bike down the street, it does not do well with masking the wind in speakers. Now, when I'm talking to you guys on right now, it's my Galaxy Buds 2s, and I can ride through the rain and different inclement weather because the speakers are specialized to do that, and the call clarity is awesome. But with the JBLs, the call quality isn't bad. It's just that when it's like heavy noise, like heavy noise, ANC takes care of that. Loud noises, drilling, ANC takes care of that. These features help with that. But when it comes to like wind blowing and things like that, not so much. You're going to want to kind of use a different headset for that. But if you're just riding in the rain or riding in different inclement weather, listening to a podcast, things like that, you're perfectly fine. But phone calls will feel a little, will struggle in inclement weather. You have your voice assistant, Find My Buds, which is a feature, which it'll blink or beep and let you know where your buds are. You have power saving, which means that if you're idle for 15 minutes, as you can see, it'll shut off on its own if you leave it in your ear. Otherwise, you can just pop it back into the case. Auto off, well, they'll power off automatically. I say leave that off more so and just leave it inside the case and you'll be perfectly fine. Because personally, I don't do the physical hold the touch button in order to turn off the physical headset. That just seems like way too much work to do. I leave that alone. And of course, you do have touch buttons that you can see. If you're looking at the application, that's the area in the JBL little part where the touch is. It does take a little time to get used to, but personally, I'm more of a physical button person, but to each their own. So with that being said, that is how you use the application. That is some of the tech features that come with this headset. If we're talking about music, Let's go ahead and just hop right into that section from here. In fact, let's cut away and we'll talk about music. Let's make it a little bit more professional, this video. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of do a double whammy section of this video. Now, when we talked about call quality in the last part, I'll just reiterate and talk about that again. Call quality is actually very decent on this headset. The problem is when you use headsets like these, they don't prioritize call quality, was what I noticed. So if I'm out in the rain, I haven't been around snow, obviously, because I haven't had that headset for that long where it was snowing where I'm at, but I have been in there in rain. I have been with like really, really strong winds. This headset does not excel in inclement weather. Now, if you're in a quiet area, you're at your job, you're at your office, you're at home, there's noise around you, it'll be fine. Cars beeping, it does a good job of narrowing down sound and kind of just lowering it with the talk through features and all that good stuff, right? The problem here is that when wind blows in the headset and the speaker, you hear it. And when a person tries to talk to you, they sound extremely muffled. When I ride my bike, remember, wind is blowing at me constantly when you're riding a bike or a motorcycle, whatever it is. And this headset does not excel in that category. Granted, earpods, Galaxy Bud Pros, or just regular Galaxy Bud 2s, they tend to have better speakers. And the reason I compare them to this standard right here isn't because I think that this is just the most amazing headset. It isn't. It's because when you think of quality, most people instantly they're programmed to think Samsung, Apple, things like that. Granted, there are other companies out there that have amazing call and music quality in other headsets, but most people aren't aware of that. So that's why there's so many type of reviews on different products. JBL is one of those companies where they excel at music. The music on this is great. The quality, the bass. I had it on jazz at one point just to try different things out, and it sounded good in practically almost all the settings. JBL has always had great signature sound, but they've never really excelled at call quality, and they've never tried to make their microphone speakers better in that area, especially given the price that you're charging like $129 for this headset. I think it's $129, or you can find them a lot of times $99. And it's like it doesn't have wireless charging. It's missing key features that other headsets in the same category have. And to be honest, when the Pixel Bud Pros come out and you have AirPods, you have the Beats, you have a lot of headphones that overpower this in terms of overall value. So I have to ask myself, why is JBL still charging top dollar for not top quality headsets? Man, when you look at the build quality, it's fine. Build quality is great. They're much smaller now. Before, JBL used to be just chunky, nasty cases, but they got a lot smaller. I mean, they could easily just cut all this off where the L is and make it a much smaller headset, make it much more accessible to people, keep it protruding where it's easy to pull in and out of the case. But, it's not necessary to make something this big. Granted, they are trying to make headsets for multiple people. Unlike Samsung and unlike Apple and other companies, JBL has many different headphones. So you will find something to match your ear shape. So it's not as if you can't find anything. The problem is that there's so many different types of headphones that some have the features you want and some don't have the features you want. And that could be a real pain in the ass for people that are just looking to buy something and be done with it. Not everybody wants 500 pairs of headphones to choose from. And it's like, come on, that's too much. But with that being said, I mean, they did a good job themselves. They're obviously still kicking and moving strong and coming out with new headsets. So they're doing something right. So you don't have to take my word as in, not to buy them. I'm not going to say not to buy these. Now, for the price tag, absolutely not, in my opinion. They are good headphones. But again, when you reach a certain price tag, you're forced to put yourself in a particular category with other headsets. Are these better than the Liberty Air 3 Pros? No, and those are $169. Are these better than the Liberty Air 2 Pros? No, they're not. They're not as comfortable. The call quality isn't as good. Music quality is up there with them, but that's it. And comfortability isn't there. The J Labs, these do they have? Let me double check. As a matter of fact, I don't even think these have in-ear detection, which that is when you take them out of your ear, they connect. When you take them out, they automatically connect. When you flip this case open, these are connected. With other AirPods, like earbuds, and we're talking about older pairs too, like the Liberty Air 2 Pros, they have in-ear detection where you put it in your ear, it connects. When you take it out, it'll pause music, however it decides to do it to save battery. There's too many features missing, in my opinion, for it to be at this price tag. But JBL, because of their name and their collaborations with The Rock and other people when they're making all types of different headphones. I mean, it's not like they don't make quality. Like I said, if you're talking about audio, the audio is always going to be top notch with JBLs. They're always very good. Obviously, if you're going to go higher than that, you're going to Bose and Sennheisers and all that stuff. But then the price tag dramatically jumps up when you look at those higher end headphones. So, music quality is great. Call quality is average at best. I give it a 5 for average. So it's good enough. Battery life is marvelous on this particular headset. I don't even use that word. Like this is the ideal battery life for a headset. I don't know what these other companies are doing with these type of headsets, but this thing is 30 hours in a case. That's nuts. That's really good. In 24 hours in a case if you do A and C. But if you do A and C some and then not A and C other times, it varies in mixtures. But the point is that the case will still be over 24 hours of charge if you switch between A and C off. That's awesome. I just think that at the reduced price, $50, absolutely, they're amazing. 79, absolutely. 89, sure, you're pushing it. 100 at the most, because that puts it around the price of Pixel Buds A's, which these are definitely better than the Pixel Bud A's, though the Pixel Buds have better call quality in my opinion. Now we're not talking about individual features, but if we talk about music, yeah, they're better than that. But once you go past a 100 point, 129, 130, listen, this isn't the way to go when you're talking about that price tag. But anything below that, I think it's worth it. So anyway, that's the review. Like and subscribe like always. I hope to see you guys in another video. And if I kind of rushed through this one because I'm a little rusty. I've been working on my second channel and I haven't actually did like reviews in a while for tech. So do apologize. But if you need me to, I will dive deeper into that talk through. What's it called? Talk through, I believe it was called. That section, if you want me to just dedicate a video straight to that, say the word and I'll definitely do it. Anyway, you guys take care and I'll see you in the next video.